Welcome to Review Monster 101. This review includes 49 multiple-choice questions designed to help you review for Unit 1 of the Common 9-unit series to prepare for the AP Psychology exam. After each question, I will let you know the correct answer and offer a brief explanation. For reviews of the other 8 units and review materials for different AP exams, please subscribe. It helps me out and allows me to make these freely available review materials. Let's begin. 1. Who is known for starting functionalism and authoring the first psychology textbook in 1890? A. William James, B. William Wundt, C. Sigmund Freud. A. William James. William James is recognized for initiating functionalism and writing the first psychology textbook. 2. What approach in psychology emphasized analyzing the purpose of behavior? A. Structuralism, B. Functionalism, C. Gestalt. B. Functionalism. Functionalism, initiated by William James, focused on examining the purpose of behavior. 3. Who established the first psychology laboratory in Germany and introduced the concept of structuralism using introspection? A. William James, B. William Wundt, C. Sigmund Freud. B. William Wundt. William Wundt set up the first psychology lab and is associated with structuralism through introspection. 4. Gestalt psychologists criticized James and Wundt for not considering what aspect of the human mind? A. Emotional structures, B. Physical structures, C. Whole self experiences. C. Whole self experiences. Gestalt psychologists led by Wertheimer criticized James and Wundt for not considering the whole self in their analyses. 5. Who is associated with psychoanalysis and the concept of conscious and unconscious processes? A. William James, B. Sigmund Freud, C. B.F. Skinner. B. Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud is recognized for psychoanalysis, focusing on conscious and unconscious mental processes. 6. Who is known for behaviorism and the idea that changing behaviors can be a form of treatment? A. William Wundt, B. B.F. Skinner, C. Gestalt, B. B.F. Skinner. B.F. Skinner is associated with behaviorism, suggesting that behaviors can be changed and conditioned. 7. What characterizes the current wave in psychology's approach? A. Psychoanalysis, B. Eclectic approach, C. Structuralism. B. Eclectic approach. The current wave in psychology follows an eclectic approach that incorporates multiple perspectives. 8. What did William Wundt primarily utilize to study mental experiences and structures in psychology? A. Structuralism, B. Introspection, C. Functionalism. B. Introspection. Wundt used introspection to study mental experiences and certain structures in psychology. 9. What approach criticized the idea of understanding psychology through fragments and emphasized perceiving the whole self? A. Behaviorism, B. Gestalt, C. Psychoanalysis. B. Gestalt. Gestalt psychology criticized fragmentary approaches and focused on understanding the whole self experiences. 10. Which psychologist introduced the concept of conditioning as a method for altering behaviors? A. William James, B. Sigmund Freud, C. B.F. Skinner. C. B.F. Skinner. B.F. Skinner introduced conditioning as a way to change behaviors in psychology. 11. What is a theory and research methodology primarily based on? A. Personal beliefs. B. Facts and evidence. C. Speculative ideas. B. Facts and evidence. A theory in research is primarily founded on facts and evidence. 12. Which term refers to a testable prediction derived from a theory? A. Null hypothesis. B. Operational definition. C. Hypothesis. C. Hypothesis. A hypothesis is a testable prediction derived from a theory. 13. What is the purpose of a null hypothesis in research? A. Proving a theory. B. Disproving one's own ideas. C. Affirming experimental findings. B. Disproving one's own ideas. The null hypothesis aims to test and potentially disprove one's own ideas or assumptions. 14. What is defined as the tendency to believe that one could have predicted the outcome after learning the results? A. Operational definition. B. Hindsight bias. C. Overconfidence error. B. Hindsight bias. Hindsight bias refers to the tendency to believe one could have predicted an outcome after learning the results. 15. Which term refers to explaining how a variable will be measured to facilitate experiment replication? A. Null hypothesis. B. Overconfidence error. C. Operational definition. C. Operational definition. An operational definition explains how a variable will be measured, aiding in experiment replication. 16. What error arises when individuals see patterns in random occurrences? A. Sampling error. B. Coincidence error. C. Null hypothesis error. B. Coincidence error. Coincidence error occurs when individuals perceive patterns in random events. 17. What is the process of choosing participants for a study called? A. Sampling. B. Null hypothesis testing. C. Overconfidence error. A. Sampling. The process of choosing participants for a study is called sampling. 18. What characterizes a representative sample in research? A. It includes participants from a single demographic. B. It represents a larger population effectively. C. It includes random selection only. B. It represents a larger population effectively. A representative sample effectively represents a larger population. 19. What increases the likelihood of a sample being representative? A. Overconfidence error. B. Hindsight bias. C. Random selection. C. Random selection. Random selection increases the likelihood of a sample being representative. 20. What type of sample ensures representation based on specific criteria, such as race or age? A. Stratified sample. B. Coincidence error. C. Operational sample. A. Stratified sample. A stratified sample ensures representation based on specific criteria such as race or age. 21. What is the primary advantage of using the experimental method in research? A. Generalizability to the real world. B. Manipulating a variable to show cause and effect. C. Avoiding confounding variables. B. Manipulating a variable to show cause and effect. The experimental method is preferred for showing cause and effect relationships through variable manipulation. 22. What term refers to any difference between experimental and control conditions that may impact the experiment's dependent variable? A. Dependent variable. B. Confounding variable. C. Independent variable. B. Confounding variable. Confounding variables are differences between experimental and control conditions that can influence the dependent variable. 23. Why is random assignment crucial in experiments? A. To introduce bias. B. To eliminate confounding variables. C. To enhance subject bias. B. To eliminate confounding variables. Random assignment helps eliminate bias and ensures that participants are evenly distributed between experimental and control groups. 24. What is the independent variable in an experiment? A. The manipulated variable. B. The measured variable. C. The controlled variable. A. The manipulated variable. The independent variable is what the experimenter manipulates or changes in an experiment. 25. What is the dependent variable in an experiment? A. The manipulated variable. B. The measured variable. C. The controlled variable. B. The measured variable. The dependent variable is what is measured or affected as a result of changes to the independent variable. 26. What is experimental bias characterized by in research settings? A. Unconscious differential treatment by researchers. B. Subject's awareness of the experiment. C. Control group influence. A. Unconscious differential treatment by researchers. Experimental bias refers to unconscious differential treatment by researchers toward experimental and control groups. 27. How is subject bias mitigated in experiments? A. Through confounding variables. B. Through random assignment. C. Through single-blind procedures. C. Through single-blind procedures. Subject bias is minimized through single-blind procedures where subjects are unaware of what is being tested. 28. What does the Hawthorne effect exemplify in research? A. Experimental bias. B. Subject bias. C. Increased productivity due to observation. B. Subject bias. The Hawthorne effect demonstrates subject bias, where subjects alter behavior due to being observed. 29. Why is a control group used in experiments? A. To introduce bias. B. To eliminate confounding variables. C. To increase subject bias. B. To eliminate confounding variables. A control group is used to prevent confounding variables and the Hawthorne effect from impacting results. 30. What purpose does random assignment serve in experimental studies? A. To increase confounding variables. B. To eliminate experimental bias. C. To ensure even distribution of participants. C. To ensure even distribution of participants. Random assignment ensures an even distribution of participants between experimental and control groups, minimizing bias and ensuring fairness in the study. 31. What procedure in research aims to minimize experimental bias by keeping both subjects and researchers unaware of the control versus experimental groups? A. Single-blind procedure. B. Double-blind procedure. C. Placebo effect. B. Double-blind procedure. The double-blind procedure ensures both subjects and researchers are unaware of group assignments, minimizing bias. 32. What phenomenon controls for potential subject bias by giving the control group a non-active substance and the experimental group the actual treatment? A. Placebo effect. B. Correlation coefficient. C. Scatterplot. A. Placebo effect. The placebo effect controls for subject bias by providing a non-active substance to the control group in experiments. 33. Which term expresses the relationship between two variables but does not imply causation? A. Placebo effect. B. Correlation. C. Experimental bias. B. Correlation. Correlation expresses the relationship between two variables but does not imply causation. 34. What type of correlation occurs when both variables increase simultaneously? A. Negative correlation. B. Positive correlation. C. No correlation. B. Positive correlation. Positive correlation occurs when both variables increase together. 35. What statistical measure expresses the difference between the largest and smallest values in a dataset? A. Mode. B. Range. C. Standard deviation. B. Range. Range measures the difference between the largest and smallest values in a dataset. 36. What research method involves observing subjects in their natural environment rather than a controlled setting? A. Case study. B. Naturalistic observation. C. Surveys, interviews. B. Naturalistic observation. Naturalistic observation involves studying subjects in their natural environment. 37. What term describes an in-depth examination of an individual or small group but has limitations in terms of generalizability? A. Case study. B. Correlation coefficient. C. Mode. A. Case study. A case study involves detailed analysis but might lack generalizability. 38. What measure of central tendency represents the most frequently occurring number in a dataset? A. Mean. B. Median. C. Mode. C. Mode. Mode represents the most commonly occurring number in a dataset. 39. What does the median represent when considering a dataset? A. The average value. B. The middle number. C. The difference between largest and smallest values. B. The middle number. The median is the middle number when values are arranged in order. 40. What measures how far individual data points are from the mean in a dataset? A. Mode. B. Range. C. Standard deviation. C. Standard deviation. Standard deviation measures the dispersion of data points from the mean in a dataset. 41. What was Milgram's obedience test focused on studying? A. Participant anxiety. B. Electric shocks affects. C. Obedience to authority. C. Obedience to authority. Milgram's test primarily examined participants' obedience to authority figures. 42. What unethical aspect was observed in Milgram's obedience test? A. Deception. B. Participants' withdrawal rights. C. Causing anxiety. C. Causing anxiety. The unethical aspect of the test was causing anxiety in many participants. 43. What is the principle that suggests researchers should explain the purpose and procedures of the study to participants? A. Informed consent. B. Right to withdraw. C. Confidentiality. A. Informed consent. Informed consent requires researchers to inform participants about the study's purpose and procedures. 44. What is the ethical guideline that ensures participants' well-being and safety during a study? A. Debriefing. B. Right to withdraw. C. Do no harm. C. Do no harm. Do no harm is the ethical guideline ensuring the safety and well-being of participants in a study. 45. Which ethical principle allows participants to leave a study at any time without facing consequences? A. Informed consent. B. Right to withdraw. C. Confidentiality. B. Right to withdraw. The right to withdraw enables participants to leave a study at any time without facing repercussions. 46. What principle dictates that researchers must keep information about participants confidential? A. Informed consent. B. Do no harm. C. Confidentiality. C. Confidentiality. Confidentiality ensures that researchers keep participants' information private and secure. 47. In terms of ethical considerations, why might deception be considered acceptable in research? A. To cause anxiety. B. To maintain confidentiality. C. When necessary for certain studies. C. When necessary for certain studies. Deception might be justified when necessary for studies where subjects shouldn't be aware of the study's purpose. 48. What is the ethical guideline that involves explaining the study's true nature to participants after their involvement? A. Informed consent. B. Debrief. C. Confidentiality. B. Debrief. Debriefing involves explaining the true nature of the study to participants after their involvement. 49. Which ethical principle allows participants to know they have the freedom to leave a study at any point without penalty? A. Informed consent. B. Do no harm. C. Right to withdraw. C. Right to withdraw. The right to withdraw grants participants the freedom to leave a study at any time without facing repercussions. That concludes our review for Unit 1 of the 9-unit series commonly used to prepare for the AP Psychology exam. If you found this review useful and would like to watch reviews for other units and other AP courses or exams, please subscribe. And most importantly, good luck preparing for your AP exams. I am confident that you will be successful